So guys, we are here right now, we're playing NovelAI, and let's get to our day 1 review. It's not going to be a real in-depth review, it's just going to be a bit of my thoughts on the day 1, my personal feelings and realization. Let's take a look at the story that we played during the stream yesterday. Yes, this is the story. And we generated a lot of funny top 10 lists, a lot of other jokes and memes with the chat, so next time I'm streaming, please make sure to tune in and subscribe to me, and ask all of your friends to subscribe and all of your acquaintances as well. Okay, this was a very long prompt. For some curious reason, all the default scenarios have to have an insanely long prompt that takes a lot of time to read and quite often is wordy. And yeah, there we go. If you want, you can read this. We managed to protect and save a young girl. First, she was trying to be young, but we fixed that and made her 19 years old, so she is. So no wrong turns here. Okay, here's the thing, you can see, let's take a look here. White text is what the AI itself generated, and blue or pink text is what we either put in or edited. I mean, I'm sort of hesitant to say how it generates stuff. I think we'll make a comparison between this and Griffin and Dragon of AI Dungeon today. And yeah, number one problem, it seems to generate a lot of repetitions, even if you change the repetition penalty here. Where is it? The repetition penalty, even if we get it up to maximum, it sometimes keeps generating the same thing, literally repeating the same phrase over and over again, like Griffin used to do back in the day, or Classic in AI Dungeon. And sadly, it's I'm just speaking completely subjectively right now, because it's a day 1 review, but it doesn't seem to be quite coherent. Clearly, it remembers a lot of things that happened, and then it sort of jumbles everything up and throws it into a mixer. And so, yeah, let's read this particular last paragraph. You buy honey, fruits, vegetables, and some wine and go back to your mansion. You go to your cabinet. Sarah is there reading a book. That's what it generated. Sarah, what are you reading? It's called History of Ancient Rome, Sarah says. Wow, that's amazing. Do you want to read it too? Sarah asks. No, I'll wait until later, and let's just press the enter button. See what it generates after this. After you finish your dinner, you decide to take a nap, just like we did before. Sadly, it keeps repeating, because we took a nap 1 paragraph before that. Decide to rest. For the rest of the day, you relax and fall asleep. The next morning, you wake up early. You have been sleeping for quite a while. You look at the clock and see it's already 8 AM. You wonder what time it is in the Empire. You check your watch and see that it's 9 AM. You're hungry, so you head to the kitchen. So yeah, sadly, Calliope is not quite completely coherent. GPT-Neo model, GPT-2B, or I can't remember how it's called, it's not quite coherent. And although it clearly does manage to save up a lot of information in memory, it doesn't work that well. Here's how I set up my memory tab. My memory or remember tab. You are a knight named Robert, you have a friend companion Sarah, you're in your mansion with Sarah. It's all very simple stuff. It's exactly how I play it in AI Dungeon, slow and descriptive. Yeah, it doesn't always work here or in AI Dungeon. It doesn't always generate descriptive or slow adventures. It doesn't understand slow. It makes your character slow. Good morning. Yes, and once again we are back to our cycle. The cook, we entered the kitchen and the cook is there cooking stuff in our mansion, just like we did the previous day. So I'm gonna guess if we press it a couple more times, it's going to generate repetitive. This seems like this. Here's a dialogue with the cook that we just had before. As you can see, we discussed eating food with the cook. What is it? And meat? And what kind of meat is it? The Swamp King's meat. Yeah, just like in Fallout we eat all sorts of fancy creature meat. It's refreshing, the cook says. It's delicious, you say. And another small but very expensive problem, it always confuses who is saying what. Yes, I am supposed to say that it's refreshing and it's delicious, and I'm supposed to say that it's thank you very much, but no, it's the cook says that. Yeah, it just confuses, it simply cannot remember who is saying what. Okay, now let's go and over to our little experiment. Let's create a new story and generate a little very small prompt. Yes, it's going to be very small, just like in AI Dungeon. You are Billy, a peasant in the Kingdom of France. You have a baguette and nothing else. You look at the sky and see a plane flying overhead. Okay, and let's see what's gonna happen after that. We're going to see it here. The plane is a Cessna single-engine light aircraft. The pilot is looking for something that he has misplaced, Billy says. Oh yeah, now it generates the quotes. Why is this quote here? I don't know. I don't understand. What does it mean? Yeah, the AI sadly isn't smart enough to understand. Is this a dream? No, it's not a dream. It's real. You were there to witness it. You had a baguette on your lap. So sadly, it's not an enjoyable second-person adventure so far. Let's see what happens when we generate it in AI dungeon in Griffin mode. There we go, prompts right here. Custom. You're Billy, a peasant in the kingdom of France. You have a baguette and nothing else. You look at the sky and see a plane flying overhead. The pilot is looking down at you as he flies over your head. He waves to you and then turns around. Hello there, he says. I'm Captain Gruz. Yes, as we can see, Griffin isn't that smart yet. Gruz, you say? What's going on? I don't understand anything that's happening. Captain Gruz looks at you for a moment, then nods. Yes, we are talking to the pilot of a plane flying above us. The captain points to a large building ahead of you. It has several wings attached to it like an airplane. Yeah, Griffin. Good old Griffin, you love it. It somehow manages to generate funny stuff. You can see people moving about on the balconies of the different wings. You can never quite make out all of them, but you see lots of them. That's the palace, Captain Gruz says. We're currently inhabiting the royal wing. We've come here to protect the king and queen during their stay here. Why did they move here, you ask? The king has cancer. Okay. Now let's undo back to the first sentence and change the mode to dragon. You are Billy, a peasant in the kingdom of France. You have a baguette and nothing else. You look at the sky and see a plane flying overhead. It is not very far away, you can hear it now. No, it manages to remember that it's far away, so we can't talk to the captain. I'm going to go out, you say. It's getting dark. The farmer looks at you for a moment, then he nods. He decided to add a character realistic enough. I am a peasant, he added a farmer. He goes back into his house and shuts the door. The farmer opens up the window and takes off his hat. He puts it on backwards so that its brim points towards the ground. Yeah, what a red farmer. The sun is gone now, it's dark outside and the only light is the moon and stars. You walk out of the barn. You see the plane now. It's very loud, you can hear it above the crickets and the wind blowing through the trees. It's moving fast, faster than any bird you've seen. It's a metal bird made by a man. As we can see, Dragon is extremely coherent even if we have absolutely nothing in Remember or in author's notes or in world info. Yeah, another very important thing about NovelAI, it really benefits from world info and Remember tab, but somehow it really... It's like it's the first thing that it tries to read, the world info and Remember. So I personally had a bit more luck with the default prompts. I mean, with the pre-created featured prompts, especially the very complex ones. So if you're really having problems in one of the prompts in NovelAI, you can try another one and see what happens here. Here it generated automatically somewhat coherent dialogue, but I haven't played it much. Yesterday I played some more different stories. Right here there's all sorts of stuff. Sadly, a lot of these stories are in first person, and I have to admit, just purely subjectively, I simply cannot understand how anyone at all can play stories in the first person. I mean, what are we supposed to read? Is this supposed to be a letter, a personal diary, something like that? I don't get it. Sadly, in the first person, stories cannot generate in an enjoyable manner. It cannot generate like a book or like a game. Second person is somewhat okay, third person is slightly better than second person. Okay, now to the next very important part, the sexual stuff. Let us talk about the sexuality in NovelAI. Here's the thing, I'm going to put a couple pictures right now on the screen in the editor later, and we can see what I personally think. Yeah, basically yesterday I tested, let's say, erotic stories in NovelAI, and I compared it to the AI Dungeon, and I can say that NovelAI's current problems with the Calliope model are basically make any sort of erotic gameplay not really enjoyable. Simply not enjoyable. Not enjoyable enough for me anyway. Compared to Dragon, well, you already seen the picture if I put it there. Compared to Dragon, it's like, I'm not going to say any inappropriate things right now. So yeah, sadly, it's very repetitive. It tends to end things too quickly, and once again, I have to repeat it, it's very repetitive. It is very repetitive. It's very repetitive. Do you get me now? Hilarious. Alright. It keeps repeating the same things over and over again, and let us hope simply that the next model, Sigurd, people already have been reporting good results. With it, I mean, I can't report anything because just like literally everyone else, like all the normal people, I subscribe with a $10 subscription to experience what it is like for us simple people. Simple poor people like me. So yeah, this has been our day 1 review. Please make sure to like and subscribe the video if you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more. We are going to make a lot more content about AI games as well as other games. I'm currently trying to play Minecraft and Fallout 76 as well. Yeah, I'm really into Fallout 76 right now. And these games too. And I can't wait for the release of the Sigurd model, GPT-6B. That's it for now, guys. See you later. Maybe I will stream today. Well, I think I might definitely stream at least 1 or 2 times later this week. So guys, bye for now.